sun, moon, rising, or anywhere Cancer is in your chart. This is your weekly reading. We're going to start with clearing the energy, clearing the cards, clearing the mind, to call in spirit, highest form of guidance, to use the messages and images on the cards to speak the language that's most helpful and useful to the collective Cancerian energy. I am using a different deck this week. This is the Lemurian Qi Vesta. It was brought in by one of my teachers, Almine. It's absolutely beautiful and helps the mind to kind of learn to think in more oneness, terms of oneness, the one field, working to integrate polarities and enter a unified field of consciousness. So there's 4 decks with 36 cards each. They each have like a wheel kind of thing on them, as you can see. So I'm going to get a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual concept for you to work with. We're going to keep it really simple and go deeply into these 4 cards for your week, Cancer. This is unlike any other reading you're finding out there. I'm excited for what's coming through for Cancer this week. Okay, Spirit, what is the most important concept here physically in the life of a Cancerian? The energy of Cancer, which is also about home and childhood and children, family. Well, children do fall in the 5th house, but childhood. Okay, let's go with that one. All right, it is card 19, which 9 plus 1 is 10, which makes it a 1 card. So here is the wheel, some interesting scripting, and it says finding the purpose. There's more scripting down here. I'll read in just a moment. This line is the Lemurian. Almine is an incredible speaker of interdimensional languages, so you might want to check her out on YouTube or some of her courses. But this is the Lemurian. It's Sitru Masanash Bilesta. Finding the purpose. It says mercy comes from guilt. Guilt comes from judgment, and judgment comes from an inability to see that anything that exists serves a purpose or would not be there. Finding the purpose. So this is speaking to in your physical life, recognizing everything that's showing up for you, Cancers, has a purpose right now. So needing to feel guilt or judgment of other people, it's more like turning it around, like how is the situation serving me? A little bit of shadow work there. So whatever's going on physically in your world, in a home situation, in a relationship, in health, it could be anything that exists this week right now for you is serving a purpose. So even if it's challenging, looking at in that way, it's somehow part of a bigger plan for you. It's somehow part of a bigger picture unfolding, and sometimes that's not easy to see in the moment. So that gives you a little vantage point that there is a purpose. Let's look at the mental concept for the Cancers. What is the mental concept? This is card 15 of the Hana Vesta. 5 plus 1 is 6. Here's the interesting pictorial that goes with it. What is that? Got a trunk blowing bubbles in there. What is that? The Lemurian is Sekba Hraneshvi Urat. And it says releasing the need to understand. Okay, so stuff's going on. Maybe you don't like it. There is a purpose. To the mind, we say release the need to understand. So you don't have to like break it all down and do a lot of intense looking at it. Just there's a purpose for this. There's a higher purpose for this. I'm going to keep moving, right? So maybe not as deep a shadow work. This is saying release the need to understand. And the deeper concept says there can be no such thing as chaos, no flaws in the one life exists. Chaos is but the way we describe that which defies our understanding. There can be no such thing as chaos and no flaws in the one being exist. I know some of you guys would have a problem with that. Of course, there's chaos, but again, it's part of a greater organization of releasing and breaking down what's no longer helpful. That looks like chaos, just like when you're reorganizing your room and everything's out, that looks like chaos. But in the bigger picture, there is an understanding of what's going on. We just can't always see it. So Cancer this week is saying, try not to make your mind try to figure out why things are going. This could signal some chaos in your life. But again, know it's purposeful. What's happening is breaking down an old system or reality or life in order to help the new to arise. And you really had a beautiful reading last week. If you haven't checked that out, that energy is still going. And also, I feel like that energy is underneath this. And this is building on that. And also the equinox reading for the collective is a beautiful one to watch as well. Okay, this deck is the emotional body, and we got 2 cards here. So card 5 and 8. 5 is a card of change, and 8 is like the infinity symbol on its side, and it does signify abundance. It can speak to financials. So the Lemurian of the first one, Asahik Alespa Nechtararuk, opposition as the tool for new birth. Opposition as the tool for new birth. So you may be meeting with some opposition this week, Cancer, but looking at it as a tool for new birth, as we've been saying, the chaos is leading somewhere. Opposition must gratefully be acknowledged as a tool of individuation. It is that which has enabled the joyful dance of relationship. So where we're finding opposition, where we're finding, seeming conflict, remember this is a necessary tool of this experience you're having. There's a purpose for it. It's creating a specific ability to go to the next level, right? Have the next experience. And then the second card is card 8, Lesetuch Belechvi Arsanaktuk, humility through oneness. Humility through oneness. And it says, hierarchies in life divide unless we realize that we are both the high and the low points of life, the high notes and the low notes of the symphony. So this goes back to the idea that there's only one, right? We're each experiencing everyone else as aspects of us, if we can look at it that way, and that's true for them. Everyone's in their own universe. This is a theory, and this is what this is based on. It's a law of oneness, the one life. And so it seems at times that there are hierarchies and that they divide us in classes, and at a certain level of reality that's true. But in this idea is I am another you, you're another me. Like I'm seeing reflections of myself either earlier or later in my development, right? And that's a cosmic development that may just not be this lifetime. So when we look at it that way, then we realize I am the leader and I am the follower. I am the first and I am the last, right? So humility through oneness. I feel like there's some challenges showing up for you this week, Cancer, possibly. It could be internally only, but it's possible it could feel a little chaotic. And to, keep your humility, because that keeps presence strong. Remembering that kind of we're all in this together, whatever people are bringing it to you that seems challenging, try to look at it from their shoes, see that everyone's equal and coming to the table in this chaos for everyone's development and moving forward. So let's go to the spiritual card. Let's tie this all together, Spirit, for Cancer. Let's see what's going on this week. I'm going to take both of those from the Qi Vesta. Card 32 and 2. So 5 is the continuation of the change, 32, 3 plus 2. And then 2. I feel like we'll end on the 2. So the first one is Varut Pareve Hurasat, contentment through surrender. There's the imagery. Contentment through surrender, Cancer. So something about this week is asking you to surrender no matter what crazy things might be going on. As life moves through us, its dance can be performed with enjoyment or resistance. Enjoyment comes from a sense of adventure and the contentment that results from surrender. Beautiful. So this is the higher vantage point, the perspective on all this stuff that's going on in physical, mental, emotional. We've got the spiritual looking at it going, life's a dance. You know, we can either enjoy it or we can resist it, right? But opposition, remember, is the tool for new birth. So surrendering, the contentment that comes with surrendering. And then Arsavech Hestrevi Esetar, enjoy the adventure of life. So again, with the adventure. So Cancer, I think, is a great adventure this week. It might just start out looking like a big chaotic whatever, but if you can approach it like it's an adventure, I think you will really get the most out of it. And here, this is an interesting concept. So we'll leave you with this one today. Because life moves through us, and some people are going to argue this with the free will thing, but let's think of this at the largest perspective, of the most connective, from the oneness field. Because life moves through us, or consciousness moves through us, we have no freedom of choice and hence no responsibility. I say that really lightly to this group. The concept of freedom is like the hand saying to the body, I want to be free. So I'm going to talk to that one a little bit, because there are multiple layers. This is on a spiritual level. So this is not on a physical level. There's obviously, at free will at the lowest denominator in the physical. On the highest level, there is an orchestra of existence that's playing out. And in a way, we are kind of just like tools, instruments of God, right? This energy, this life force moves through us and animates us, and we choose to move with it or to oppose it, right? So ultimately, you could say this energy, this God force will have its way with us eventually, because we will learn to surrender, because we are more powerful and experience a greater, vaster, yes in ourselves when we allow ourselves to merge with that life force and be present in our body and express fully, right? So this is really saying to enjoy the adventure, like that you are on a spiritual adventure in a physical body. And you're using this vessel, and enjoy it. Enjoy yourself and have humility, right? And see the chaos as a tool of transformation this week, Cancer. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this Qi Vesta. If you wanted to do one of these for yourself, you actually get 8 cards, 2 of each, and I draw you a sigil that goes with it. It's the energetic match that I send to you. All donations for readings. And we can do regular tarot or runes as well. But this week, I just wanted you guys to get a little peek into the Qi Vesta. So let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe so you get future readings. Maybe we'll do just runes next week. We'll see. And make sure you check out all the other content on the channel. Talking about the archetypes of the tarot. Talking about divine union. Lots of embodiment practices for life force and more. Love you so much.